Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. And in this video, we have recorded, it was actually recorded during our live stream that we do this last Tuesday. So, we do a live stream every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central, when we go over scheduling information, dealer news updates, recalls, and usually have a topic of the week and some other things. But more importantly, we answer your questions live, the community's questions. So we usually have about a couple hundred people in there each week that are watching this live and asking us questions about their order or, how they should order their vehicle and that kind of thing. And that's what we're here for, is to help you answer any questions. So if you want to join us live, and if you have any questions about scheduling, we can answer them live for you. Also, if you drop them down below, we'll try to get those responded as well. But feel free to come back next week. Again, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central, if you want to join us live and ask your question, and we can answer your individual question if it hasn't been answered in the past. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and I hope to see you next week.
All right, so we're going to go over these scheduling information. Of course, when we do that, first I want to go over some of the terminology and everything for scheduling. Now, remember, this is the first week for scheduling for January's allocations for dealers for March production dates. So when we talk about scheduling, it's scheduling of your orders for a production date in the future. And the future on these are going to be for March dates, and we'll go over every model might be a little different. But so that's what we're scheduling for, and dealer has to have allocations for each model. And we'll even go through on ours and tell you which ones, like how many we have and that kind of thing. So let's get into terminology first. So for those people, of course, when we talk about scheduling, it is scheduling an order out of the order bank. So an order bank is where the dealer places all stock and retail orders. A retail order is a customer placed order. So that's, if you're watching, maybe it's one of your orders. A stock order is an order placed by a dealer for stock or lot inventory. And why would they do that? They would probably only do that if they don't have a retail order. So if a dealer earns allocations, which we're going to talk about later, then they would need to fulfill that with a stock order if they don't have a retail. A priority code is a priority that's a dealer is giving to orders. 10 to 19 is retail, or actually 03 now to 19 is retail. 20 to 80 is stock. The lower, the better. So some people say, well, why would they do that? Because that system is broken. Remember, that is based on the configuration first. Priority is looked at after the configuration that Ford's looking for. So Ford's only looking for a Maverick XLs this week. They're going to, if you don't have a Maverick XL, then you're immediately kind of taken out of the equation. But then at that point, it looks at the priority code at that point. Scheduling, and that's when Ford schedules an order for production date in the future months. We're talking about March for this week. Production dates, that's when it's going to be scheduled for, either the week or to the day. So, a lot of times, a lot of people get that email that says you're scheduled to the week of, and whatever week it is, that's when Ford plans to build your vehicle. Allocations, Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule the dealer orders. A dealer needs an allocation to schedule an order in the order bank. A dealer earns those allocations from their sales for each model within the region. At least that's the way it's supposed to work. Constraints, that's options that may be in short supply or take longer to build. So if a supplier's behind or something, that causes a constraint to the orders that are looking to get scheduled. Capacity, that is the planned production rate for a given motor, trim, or option. There are some vehicles we're going to talk about today that have a very low capacity or very low production run. And because of that, if there's a lot more orders than what their capacity is, it can take longer for those orders to get scheduled. Job 1 and 2, that's a production run within a model year. They'll split those into two. If they make any significant changes or something like that, they can make those go into effect in job 2 instead of waiting to the next model year. Or if there's something they need to shift and change because of parts constraints, they can make that change on job 2. Balance out, that is the end of production or balance out for what they can produce for an option model or something like that. So there you go. So that is all that information. So hopefully that helps out everybody else knowing the terminology as we go through this. But of course, if you do have questions and you're watching it live with us, then you can drop those at Sarah Davis, and we'll answer those live. For those watching the replay on this, just drop them down in the comments and we'll try to answer those for you. Now, first off, we're going to start with the 24 model year Mustang. Mustang is scheduling this week. It's retail scheduling, looks like only. They are scheduling for the production weeks of March 4th through the weeks of March 25th. So they'll schedule in different weeks, necessarily not necessarily the first week. Their goal for this month is to produce about 2,990 Mustangs this month, or for the month of March. The order banks are open up right now if you want to place an order with a dealer. We currently have 4 allocations. We do have some stock ones looking at because we don't have that many retails. So if you want to do that, or if you want to check out one of our vehicles, we have like $6,000 off on GTs now, starting today. We just lowered the prices on those. 24 model year Escape. They are scheduling this week as well. Looks like for this month, they're trying to produce for the month of March 5,800 units and about 225 plug-in hybrid units for the month of March. Order banks are open up for about every trim level, and they are scheduling retail scheduling this week for production weeks, the weeks of March 4th through March 25th. So I know we have 6 regular allocations and 2 plug-in hybrid allocations. So, and it does say retail only. So they're going to be, if a dealership doesn't have a retail order, you might see that those allocations aren't used that first week because they want to get to schedule retails first, and then they'll move on to the others because again, retails are always looked at first. All right, 24 model year Bronco Sport is scheduling this week. It says no stock scheduling at all. It says they are scheduled for the production weeks of March 4th through March 25th. They are scheduling no scheduling for Badlands until mid-March, and limit availability for the 225 65 R17 all-season tire. And order banks are open up right now. Looks like their planned production for is about 3,000 units for March, which is very low for Bronco Sport. We currently have 7 allocations, but I don't think we have any retail orders. I think we have 1 retail order. So that might get scheduled this week. There's currently 340 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Bronco Sport. And I actually forgot to go back real quick. The Mustang has about 1,500 unscheduled retail orders, and the Escape has about 842 unscheduled orders currently right now. All right, moving on to the 24 model year Edge. It is doing retail scheduling this week. Just for build dates, the weeks of March 11th through March 25th. Limit availability for the Edge SEL version, and their plan is to produce 8,250 units in the month of March. Order banks are open up right now for everything but ST. So if you're wanting one of those, I know we currently have 8 allocations that are looking to get scheduled this month. And there's currently 1,283 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. No major constraints on the Edge. 24 model year Ranger. They might be shipping out real soon. They have some of those built. They have retail scheduling this week, including Raptor stock orders. Again, you have to have a Raptor allocation. We only received 1. It's already been scheduled. In fact, I think it's being built this week. They are currently, order banks are open up for the Ranger. There's currently 2,904 orders, unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. And so the order banks are open up. This month, they're planning to produce, or the month of March, I should say, they're planning to produce 3,500 units and about 700 Raptors. So that's the breakdown of that. 24 model year Bronco. They are doing priority scheduling for Raptor, Heritage Limited, Heritage, and Everglades. So specialty scheduling this week for those models. So that's great news for those waiting for that Heritage 2-door. I will say the ones of our orders that we're previewing were all Heritage 2-doors. So that's great news for those people. So that's a great, hopefully that's going to work. There's currently 5,538 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Order banks are open up if you want in the 24. It looks like they're planning to produce 8,000 units in the month of March, and then additional 1,150 Raptors and 358 Heritage Limited Edition. So there you go. We're going to talk more about Raptors and an abundance on dealer lots here in just a little bit. We have 12 allocations ourselves with no Raptor allocations. We actually turned down a Raptor allocation that we were earned. There you go. No real major constraints on this. We talked about that last week. Hopefully you guys caught that. That even though, if you see that report floating around on Bronco 6G, and you might see some negatives there, again, that's based on production versus orders. So percentage of orders is different than a percentage of capacity, what the capacity is. So there's currently on anything. I know I think Town and Country had said that, stay away from, Sasquatch and some of those. You don't need to worry about that. If you want Sasquatch, order it. It should not hold up your build at this point in the ball game. Should be good to go there. So, all right. Next, 24 model year Maverick. It looks like we are doing a no stock scheduling this week. So all retail for the weeks of March 4th through March 25th. Looks like this for the month of March, they're planning to make 8,300 units, which is well lower, so much lower than what it was. I think they did like 10,000 units in December. So a lot lower than that. So, and that might just be the fact that they've caught up on a lot of their orders. Order banks are open up right now if you're wanting to place an order for a Maverick. Limit availability for the hybrid engine, as well as the XL version and the black appearance package. Exhaust availability for your tonneau cover pickup box, trifold, splash guards, and your 225/65 R17 tires. Now, those are all the same notes as last week, so I don't know if they just didn't update that, because we should be ready to refresh that. We don't have any allocations this month. We got zeroed out on that. So, yeah. So if you have an order with us, it may not get scheduled this month because we're getting zero. That's where we earn the allocations. Don't know how we end up getting zero, but anyway. So don't know. Anyway, yeah. Biggest constraint is that XL. Hybrid some, but again, it's based on that. There's currently 23,704 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. 8,300 orders. It could take a little while to get the hybrids. 77% of the 23,000 are hybrid orders in the system, so about 3/4 of them. So yeah, that'll take more than a month to get those scheduled. All right, moving on. 24 model year Explorer. They are scheduled for the weeks of March 4th through March 25th. And order banks are open up for Explorer, but not for very long. If you're wanting a 24 Explorer, you better get your order in the order bank, or hope that a dealer's going to have something on the lot for you. They're going to make about 9,800 Explorers in the month of March. See, limit availability for the ST line. Also limit availability for the 10-inch portrait style screen as well. That's included in the tech package. Exhaust availability for the 21-inch bright machine face aluminum wheel. That's the one that's standard on the Platinum. And then also exhaust availability for the 20-inch premium painted wheel that's optional on the XLT 202A, and then standard on the limited 300A and 301A. So, and then on Explorer, there's only 857 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Next is the 24 model year Expedition. Sorry. Looks like they are scheduling this week. Retail only scheduling as well. Order banks are open up for 24 Expedition. They're going to make 2,500 vehicles in March. And see, Platinum will require 22-inch wheel, and limited 302A will require the sandstone trim. Looks like we have about 6 allocations. Let's see. They have only 993 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for that. All right, moving on. 24 model year Mach-E. It is scheduling retail only this week. There aren't a lot of retail orders, so it's going to be interesting. There's 36 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They're scheduling for the weeks of February 26th through March 25th. Order banks are open up for the Select and the Premium trim, not the GT at this time. Their plan for March is to produce 4,400 units there. We currently don't have any. We have 0 allocations, and there really aren't any constraints on the Mach-E. Now, 24 model year Super Duty. That's one everybody wants to talk about. Seems like lately. They are scheduling this week for Kentucky truck plant. They're scheduling for the weeks of February 5th to March 11th. For Ohio assembly plant will be from dates February 26th through March 18th. Says very important. They are needing orders with a 6.8 liter engine without the standard heavy duty alternator and without the fifth wheel gooseneck hitch prep package. That would probably be for the Ohio plant. Limit of it. Okay, let me go before we get into that. They plan to make about 18,255 units in March. Order banks are open up for the Super Duty. There's currently 23,032 unscheduled retail orders. Limit availability for the F550 chassis cab, King Ranch, and Platinum, which is probably why none of our King Ranch and Platinums are previewing this week. Limit availability for the 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel engine, as well as the high output diesel engine. The fuel tank that's included with the 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel engine on the XL, XLT, and Lariat F350, 450, 550, and 600s is limited, as well as your 225/70R 19.5 G black sidewall traction tire that's standard on the F450. That's limited. As well as the 18-inch machine in painted aluminum wheel that's included on your trimmer off-road package. So those trimmer off-roads will be limited a little bit, as well as 360-degree camera with the or 360-degree dual beacon LED warning strobe, the amber white, as well as just the amber. That's also limited. The onboard scales and smart hitch, which is optional on the XL, XLT, and Lariat pickups, not available with the two-wheel drive. That is also limited, as well as the 203-inch wheelbase fuel tank with the low sulfur diesel fuel. That is limited. And the 245/70R by 19.5 G tire that is standard on the chassis cab F600 XL and XLT, as well as the 245/70R 19.5 traction tire that is optional on the chassis cab F600 XL and XLTs. So having some issues there with some tires. Looks like, again, low capacity is very low. King Ranch is only 4% capacity. Platinum is 5% capacity. Limited is just 2%. Trimmer package is 10%. So people have asked, well, what if I have the trimmer with the Platinum? That's going to take a while. I can just tell you that, because 5% there and 10%, that's, a couple different things there. Last week, we did notice that the 6.7 liter high output diesel engine capacity went up from 10% to 19.5%. It's at that same percentage this week as well, right there. So just keep that in mind. And then they're way over capacity on the tonneau covers, so I would take that off. Also way over capacity on the Continental tire. So that 19.5, that's usually your dualies that get that. So those dualies are going to struggle a little bit as well in getting scheduled. And then that fifth wheel prep package, also, if you can go without it, you might think about that too. So, all right, moving on. 24 model year F-150. Looks like they are scheduling for production weeks, the weeks of March 4th through March 11th for those couple weeks. Their planned production for March is 31,588 vehicles. Also, 4,100 Raptors. That's Raptor and Raptor 37s. So they rotate those back and forth. I think it's 75% Raptors, 25% Raptor 37s, remember that, and then 1,400 Raptor R. So they actually separate the Raptor Rs out. In fact, this month we have 53 F-150 allocations, 1 Raptor allocation, and 3 Raptor R allocations, with one of those being this week. So there you go. And there's currently 5,730 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Not that many when they plan to produce 31,000, right? So although they do have in here some limited availabilities, first time seeing any options on the F-150, but now we're starting to see some. So limited availability for the 3.5 hybrid engine, as well as the 3.5 EcoBoost engine. And also, it says no code 5.0 liter, 3.5, and 1.27 dual exhaust. So they must be having some issues with the dual exhaust, which normally that's going to be on your black appearance packages and maybe your sport appearance packages. So that might be something that you might notice as being a problem if you have that sport appearance package, or I mean the black appearance package. Also, limited availability for the 18-inch gloss black wheels, the 18-inch black painted aluminum wheels, the 20-inch dark gray wheels, as well as the LT 265/70R18C all-terrain tire, if you add that as optional equipment, and then the soft tonneau cover, as well as heads-up display, which is included in the 502A, that's the Lariat, 601A, 702A, or 703A. Raptor is not affected, they said, by the heads-up display. So there we go. Other than that, black appearance package, probably the only thing that's maybe over capacity, but only 5,700 orders. I wouldn't worry about anything other than what we mentioned in the notes here. All right, moving on. 24 model year Transit. They are scheduling for a week of production week of March 4th. In March, they plan to make about 4,500 units for the Transit. Order banks are open up right now. There's about 6,778 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for Transit. And here's some of the notes on here. It says we do encourage dealers to submit Transit Trail orders if they have allocations and don't have any retail orders. Limit availability for the 3.5 EcoBoost V6, also the medium roof van, all four-wheel drives, which is funny because trail control is, or the trail package, Transit Trail is all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. And then also the 15-passenger seating as well is limit availability. So there we go. That is all I have for that.
All right. So 134 Zing 4. Thank you for the $5 donation.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
My 24 Bronco is built and is on the way to me here in California. What can I expect as to leverage of purchasing a special order purchase?
All the 24s. I mean, hopefully your dealership, when you order, they should have locked in what your price is going to be ahead of time. The price shouldn't change from when you ordered. So hopefully you kept your order sheet when you did place your order, and you just have them stick to that price. If there was a price increase throughout the year, the way Ford words it is, as long as you ordered prior to a certain date, you're locked into that. So basically speaking, you're locked into what the price was when you ordered the vehicle, including there's not any incentives on Bronco, which we'll get into that. That's going to be my rant. But anyway, but yes, that's like for us, all of our ordered vehicles are MSRP right now on the Bronco. But yeah, and I don't think you're going to have really any issues. We're gonna talk later in the video about Bronco in a second. Or when we get to the rant and everything, but there's plenty of Broncos out there. So it's pretty easy to be able to get them to stay at the very highest MSRP on you. They shouldn't be pricing it over MSRP at this point. There's enough dealers that have Broncos on their lots that they need to sell a vehicle. They're not going to hopefully try to go over MSRP and try to take something over on you. Just, say, well, there's plenty of Broncos out there and just stick to that. We're kind of back to the pre-COVID times where you can now tell a dealership, you know what, if you can't get to this price, I'll just walk away. There's plenty of other dealerships with vehicles. And that's the truth actually right now. So anyway, hopefully that helps. What else you got?
All right. Looking at my window sticker for F-150, the 23 3.5 Eco or EB, say EcoBoost, got 1823 miles per gallon, but now the sticker shows 1623 miles per gallon. What happened? What changed? Also, how come no dealer has a 24 anywhere?
24s are, well, actually, from what I understand is 24s are struggling to get the okay to buy. But they started making those late December. So, I mean, it's only the 16th of January. So they'll go out. They have to be tested and everything. But yes, your miles per gallon, those got to get tested every year. So those will change. And we know like Maverick shifted it. It went down a little bit on some of the mileage. So there you go. I mean, it's every year they got to get retested for their miles per gallon for ratings, EPA and everything. And so I'm sure that's what they came to this year. So.
So that was probably a change as they're working on going from?
Well, it shouldn't change within the model year. Usually that's a change when they get it tested for each model year. So maybe he's
Right.
talking about the window sticker for his 24.
Right, that's what I mean for like the 24, because like Super Duty was still going through some testing, even though they were producing it, because they didn't have the okay to buy yet.
Yeah.
Even though they were producing. So maybe with F-150, they had to wait for those ratings, and then they updated once they got them.
We know on Maverick when it first when it first came out that first model year, they didn't get the okay to buy. That usually means they can't be shipped out for about 3 months because they were waiting for the EPA to come back. So they couldn't ship out until EPA got the okay because that had to go on the window stickers. And so those couldn't be shipped out until then. So it could be that Ford's waiting on EPA at this point, or it could be some other issue. But yeah, we don't know when we're going to start seeing those. Looks like, I mean, I didn't even think Broncos were shipping out yet, but we know that some dealers are getting Broncos. So we're seeing some of those 24s starting to trickle out. Rangers haven't been shipped out yet either, or have they? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe some people have been having some of theirs shipped out. But anyway, so at the beginning of that, if you have a real early model year order in there and you're one of the first ones built, sometimes it doesn't go out right away. That's typical. Yeah. That's very typical.
All right. I have a Bronco Sport Badlands in order. So does the report mean I won't hear anything on it until March and probably not built until April? Is that what that means?
That is a little confusing. So I'm not sure either because I know it said mid-March. Here, let me pull that up. And I don't know if that means mid-March for scheduling or mid-March for production dates. Because if it says mid-March for production, that means they could schedule soon. But let me pull that up. All right. So it says no scheduling for Broncos until mid-March. So yeah. So looks like they won't even schedule Bronco Sport Badlands until mid-March. So that you're talking for production dates. They schedule 2 months in advance. So we're talking probably, if they're not going to schedule till March, then you're probably talking a May production date. So, yeah, at this point, you might look and see what's out there for Bronco Sports on dealer lots. Because again, that Badlands edition, there's only a couple options on it. You have a Badlands, quit basically is what we like to call it, or you have that premium package. And then different color options, right? So you might see what you can find at a dealer's lot. I know we sold all of our Badlands editions, except for our RTR, which we're including the package with it. But anyway, but I would maybe look and see what you can find out there at a dealer lot. And I think you can get a pretty good deal on the Bronco Sport right now. And there's great interest rates on them right now. So that would be one thing that I would maybe, keep that order in there, but maybe be looking and see what you can find out there.
Yep. Are any Broncos besides Heritage and Raptors being scheduled this week? And how many of 12 allocations are for Wild Track?
Okay, so no, it looks like to me it's just specialty scheduling this week. They did that last month too. I remember that because we had a bunch of 4-door Heritages get scheduled as well as our Everglades get scheduled. So sounds like to me that might be the typical way to go on these. But yeah, right now it's just specialty. So it looks like Wild Tracks won't schedule this week and such. And of our 12 how many of 12 allocations are for Wild Tracks? So our allocations aren't specific to any trim level necessarily. So if we have an order in there, we have a couple different trim levels. Other than this, they're going to schedule those Heritage. So of our 12, 4 of those are probably going to be those Heritage 2-doors. So those 8 allocations will be other trim levels other than Raptor. So we don't know. Ford will just decide what they want to do. I know, like at one point about a year ago, we could actually dictate and say, because they said, "Oh, our production, you figure maybe one of your allocations out of 10 is going to be Wild Track." We could usually say that, but now they're not really doing it that way anymore. So it's hard to tell. So looking at our orders, we have 12 allocations. We have less than 12 orders in our system. So I would be really shocked if we didn't get all 12 of ours scheduled this month. All of our unscheduled Broncos. I think by the end of this month, unless we don't have any other orders, we're going to be doing some stock scheduling next month. So anyway.
So if I heard you correctly, scheduling stock orders for the Ranger Raptor, correct?
No, they said no stock scheduling.
That's right.
Oh, no, wait. Oh, Ranger Raptor. It did mention stock scheduling.
Ranger Raptor.
So yeah, on Ranger Raptor, sorry. You are correct on that. So what that meant, basically what happens is if a dealer doesn't have a retail Raptor order, that means a customer hasn't come forward and said, I want to order a Raptor with you, then, but the dealership earns an allocation, then they need to give that dealership an allocation. But if they don't have a customer's order, then they will look to a stock Raptor. So what they're scheduling for, like it says here, retail scheduling, including Raptor stock orders. So if a dealership doesn't have, maybe they have a Raptor allocation, but they don't have a retail Raptor order, they'll go ahead and schedule a stock order for them if they earn that allocation. So that's why it's a little confusing there. But yes, so you might see they might call it a stock, but again, like for us, we only got the one. Every dealership is supposed to get one allocation, but not all their dealers have had theirs scheduled out yet. So some of them will still get those scheduled. So,
All right, we have a couple more. Does a dealership lose an allocation when they sell a retail order to someone besides the name on the order? No. We don't lose that allocation because we sold it.
Not. They used to do that. I mean, in the past, we would see.
We did have some retribution.
There was some. It was a certain percentage, right? Yeah, but not really anymore. I mean, we have a lot of people that have turned down the orders that came in, and then when we go to sell that, if they don't take it, we submit to Ford why they didn't take it. There's usually certain guidelines. If it's a financial thing where they can't get financed, maybe there's something happened within them. But if they tell us, nope, I don't want it, a lot of times, it's all within reason anymore, then they don't worry about it. But yeah, and then, those become stock orders in a sense. So then somebody buys that one. We're not getting dinged for that. So there's not very many vehicles right now to the point that they need to worry about that for Ford, because about everything's about caught up in a sense. Right. So that used to be a deal back when, there was a lot of like Bronco orders and a lot of Maverick orders and such like that. Then that was like retribution if you, went against that, but not anymore. So. All right. Anything else?
Yes. We're having some good questions tonight on this topic.
That's good.
I ordered a F-150 Lariat black appearance package.
Power Boost
Black appearance package in early December. When they say limited availability on certain options, how long does that hold things up, or is it in the air?
Well, that just means it's more limited than what their original like percentages are for that. And when we talk about that can be held up for just a week. Sometimes it can be on there for several weeks in a row. And limited, I've seen a lot of people's orders where they say limited and we still get them scheduled. So limited doesn't mean not at all. So that is a possibility. And we're talking, what the number was, 5,000 unscheduled retail orders. They plan to build for 31,000 this month. Right. So in most situations, you're going to be okay and probably get scheduled this month for your order. Lariat's not one that's constrained, or we don't have more orders than what the capacity is for Lariat. Power Boost shouldn't be a problem, because I'm going to tell you one thing that helps your order is that it's Power Boost, because Ford wants to build more Power Boost and they want to sell more Power Boost. So having Power Boost on there actually helps your order probably to get scheduled than would affect it. So
yeah. Any lightning updates?
Not yet. We're supposed to be getting some information. They told us, I haven't went back. There was an EV town hall and I was busy and I missed it. I want to go back and watch it. And in that they had said there's going to be some dealer communications coming out about that, because they did a pause on ordering. But I do know they mentioned something about when they have the build and price on the website, they're not going to call it build and price for the Lightning. They're going to call it build and buy.
Yeah.
Build to buy. so that way people know that they can buy online. But anyway, but you can still be able to order through your dealer. So we don't know yet on that. Yeah, we're kind of waiting on that. So we think we're going to talk about in the dealer news here in just a second about X-Plan. It looks like Lightning will be available for X-Plan.
Okay. And let's head on to the next one.
You have any other questions on scheduling?
No.
Is there another one?
Oh,
Something
well,
about any word
on regular Raptor.
So there's scheduled retail. Regular Raptors, like F-150 Raptors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned F-150 Raptors. What are they planning to build? About 4,100 F-150 Raptors and Raptor 37s. I think the percentage is 75% Raptors, 25% Raptor 37s. And what was it? Like 1,400 Raptor Rs. So yeah. And then Bronco Raptor, I don't remember what that number was. Didn't I give that number? I think I did. Like 1,100 or something for Bronco Raptors, 700 Ranger Raptors, something like that. So, and they won't schedule all those the first week. They'll schedule those over multiple weeks because not all dealers will earn all theirs. Like we're supposed to get 3 Raptor F-150 Raptor R allocations for the month. We have one that's going to happen this week. So, anyway. All right. Nothing else?
All right.